Welcome, welcome to my lovely IHP community and the 5D Collective. Today we started with a couple of shorts and then we'll get to our extended on our lovely golden egg messages. And if you're new, 5D Mystic Mentor Content Creator Podcast hosts, all securely attached, self-led people who take their vows and their selves seriously. So we are imperfect and flawed, but at least we're not liars or closed hearted. We are not emotionally immature, and so we get to be the dependable, trustworthy ones and know when emotional, immature people are around, they're not dependable or trustworthy because they lack open-heartedness. So when you lack open-heartedness, you're in safety behavior. That's why they need a Patrick Tan or a Terry Real. The golden egg message for securely attached, self-led people and spiritual mystics. There was a short on that, and part of that is also where you cannot be a life partner with wounds you don't heal and take ownership of, because that's where the ones who don't take their child parts to Patrick Tan don't become functional inner child adults or Terreal. And so they will think they're brilliant while they are in their destructive modes, which is why they also will not really be doing any of that consistent, contingent communication with unconditionally loving people. We are consistently trying to move into the wisdom of the heart. And so we do not have rejection, abandonment, injustice, betrayal, or humiliation, shame. We don't have any of those wounds. And we are the healthy self-images of all the personality patterns. And so with that, it's a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain that you got in front of you, an integrated brain. And so I'm also attachment trauma informed, and I'm a 5D mystic, like I said. So we have some messages, channeled guidance, food for thought, because that's what we do here. That's what I do, bringing spirituality and human elements. So the intelligent ones, which is what we are not influenced by our implicit or explicit memory, nor are we deluded by our imagination. We know that all of our brothers and sisters have a hole like we do. Ours is full because we love ourselves just the way we are. I personally have 1, 2, 3 personality patterns, and the perfectionist is the number one. And she is mature, so I know when my past comes up, my 0, 1, and 3 to 7, it's with my family. And then when she comes up in the outside, no, she doesn't. I tend to the small things as a mindfulness practitioner, so I know how to do breathe, Maria. Okay, and so healthy, self-worth, empowered women, men, and days, mystic, spiritual, and or mindful, science, spirituality come together. I'm the woo-woo pseudoscience lady. We are logical and genuine. I know I am. I'll speak for myself. That way it's story time. I definitely consider myself empathic and nurturing. Now, if you ask, immunity isn't enough to be saluted, he does not agree with that, which is why thank you, Sam Harris. And in my cherishable beliefs can be falsifiable. Thank you also, Terry Real. Any of what I'm going to say is going to always make sense to me, but I'm not trying to prove it, just so you know, because I'm a functional adult, so I'm just chit-chatting. Because we don't need Terry Real to learn how not to argue. We're actively not arguing. None of us are hooked on drama, and we don't do in and out behavior, and we don't have any of that ups and downs and reward system. No, the ones who live with their left and their right separated, yes. That's why thanks, Janina Fisher, for letting me know about the left people think, the left mode, they think that they're actually good, while their right mode, it comes out of nowhere, structural dissociation. And that's why, thanks to my facade friend, I just know how to handle emotionally immature, unavailable people, because they don't know any difference since they lack the self-accountable and regulating. They'll be self-aware. I got plenty of facade people. If they tell me how they act when they are upset. And then I say, you know, Patrick Tan helps people that want to stop bringing their unkindness from their 0, 8-year-old. No, but you know, Maria, people are assholes, so I don't want to. Okay, so when you meet the excuse of a not brilliant mind, you meet the excuse of why it's not humanity all, Sadhguru, that are destroying the ecosystem. It's the ones who aren't really going to continue to the future, as determined, Robert Sapolsky's book points out, in his studies with another group of the animal kingdom. We're part of the animal kingdom too. So I tend to the small things. I'm long-sighted. The ones with prefrontal cortex work out. Those are the ones who are going to be here. That's who the golden egg is for. It's for securely attached, self-led, open-hearted people, because Christ consciousness, it's open-hearted, not closed. So we don't say, forgave. You don't actually say it. You tend to the small things. So logical and genuine, empathic and nurturing, Successful and admirable, that depends on who you ask. Authentic, intuitive, definitely perceptive and observant again, but we all will also make sense to ourselves. So let's remember, what will tell me if you are an actual person who's expanding is, are you dependable and trustworthy always, with an open heart that has kindness, that has only kindness, not little spiteful, not revenge, not blame, not shame, not little Cusco tricks. No, a pacha. Okay, so pacha is the functional child adult, accepting and knowing we all can be on all sides of a coin. Optimistic and energetic, that's the integrated brain. And again, that's what I am. So I bring to you self-help, personal development, spiritual development. Honest and tenacious, yes, because again, you have energy when you are a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person. So your past does not rule you. That's why you're an intelligent one. Your past is part of you, and you know how to use your ventral vagal state. So you're gentle and friendly, although immunity isn't enough to be saluted, thinks I'm not. But I'm a healthy, self-worth woman, so I'm not going to take steps back on what I decided, because I didn't do actually anything except for consistently for 3+ years not make friends. That's it. I didn't get rude. I didn't get not rude. So if somebody thinks you're a snoot and they express it, a ventral vagal state person will be gentle and friendly. And while some think that it's because my sin feeling for perfectionism is anger, no. I have an explanation. Let me share with you the story as I tell the very caregiver that raised me this story of this human being. And this is how she does. You didn't tell him you didn't like him. That's not nice. No, Mom, no. I did what you taught me. If you can't say something nice, I didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden on a drunk evening, because when you're drunk, you are, by the way, not going to be in your logical brain. You're going to be in your emotional and your brainstem and stuff. So that's why, thanks to facade people, we always know it's either going to be emotionally mature, available, actually securely attached, self-led people, or not. They won't know any different. We will. Who's we? The 5D collective. So stay tuned if you are a person who's creating what you really care for. Thank you, Sadhguru. Because that will mean that your whole life is a holiday, even when we get to meet people like this. Because again, it's not Lucifer, it's not a demon, it's low self-esteem and trauma charges that are all healable thanks to sciences. I love you, God, you know that, but the story alone, some people don't believe in you. And even those who believe in God, divinity, they actually create groups. They even started to create, a whole bunch more tragedy with the twin flame thing. It's like, that doesn't happen to the true lovers. We don't have tragedy because we're not from opera. We don't use our brainstem, our visceral. So true love, as Stephen Porges points out, is when you can sit safely with people forever and ever. But it's because we're both equally the mature, safe haven, secure base of all of our child parts. So I bring to you my A game, always, not just sometimes. I'm a teenager and I'm already doing it. I know, right? Isn't it amazing? But I got better at it thanks to all my people, all my friends, all my family, everyone. In fact, I thank God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, because they got me to commit. And then all my loved ones got me to continue to commit. And so today, as an Akashic record reader, I still tend to the small things. And so you'll find the golden egg where the elephant and the mouse meet. As they gather around, get ready for story, the ants who are caught in the spider web's dance. All their dreams are brought together, and the owl from above observes this little dance and the stingray's momentum that shakes things up like the combined force of the, give me one moment, of the lion and the tiger as they sit to catch their prey. The deer carries, and I know these have more meaning to them, but I'm not going to read them to you in this one. We might carry on in the following weeks, okay? Just so you know, you can come back, and when we have tears out, we're going to do something with this in an extended version, okay, with the deeper meanings. I have the booklet right here. But right now, this is that free content. You're getting to know me. You're getting to also understand how I channel, how I talk about self-help, how I guide the mindset, teaching all of these amazing things. One-to-one mentorship if you're interested. Sign up for the masterclass and future workshops and retreats. And in the meantime, you can sign up for video exercises, paid subscription-based model content on Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Or I do have fan base, although I'm not taking much care of it right now. But if we get to that number, that's where one of our options for video exercises, the mindset with mindfulness practices, because you have mindset skills. So the deer carries the essence of the phoenix rising and the tarantula crawling, and the three energies at play bring to the nightingale's song, or they bring to the nightingale a song to sing that attracts the dragonfly who carries the cosmic egg. And who is he carrying, or she, they, the cosmic egg to? The cosmic egg is being carried to its butterfly transformation, which births the crow's black egg. And so the voice of truth is birthed and brings to the earthworm its transformative power. What might you say is the transformative power of the earthworm? Well, let me find my spot, and then I'll also add with you, again, the channeled guidance food for thought is for personal development, self-help as you're navigating these amazing ascension energies. Into a swan, the earthworm transforms, and avoiding to be eaten by the lizard and allowing its life to become that of the starfish and horse, prance and dance. And so it is that the golden egg's essence manifested into reality through all the grounded earthly human senses, your five senses and beyond that, okay, and tangible in matter as a restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating person, mystic, spiritual as well. Securely attached, self-led people are strong, brave, and bring change for the better because we embody intelligence and consciousness and self. Be you, mindful, flawed, with integrity. People who are not their best self think they're brilliant when they're in their child parts, and they're not. But you cannot heal trauma with the wrong people. So stay away from the negative and stupid people who do have low self-esteem and unhealthy self-soothing behaviors until you are a functional inner child adult who can find solutions because you love to talk and walk together in life as your true self. So you're able to already say, I love myself just the way I am. You're flawed, imperfect, but you can recalibrate. So when I work with myself, it's always, not just sometimes. That's why I'm consistently mastering the expanded version of me. We all have a heart. And so my brothers and sisters who want to live in hell are not evil, Knievel, medieval with a Lucifer. If there had been a story like that were true, I would have let you know, because I know God and I told God. And no. So when I meet my brothers and sisters who think they're brilliant while being in their basically asshole-ish behaviors, I remember my facade friend. And then I remember God telling me to stop judging human suffering. And then I remember that I'm an Akashic record reader who's continuing to now, at this point, master my physical mastery as Maria. I'm the unconditionally loving voice of I have flaws and you have flaws. I have imperfections, you have imperfections. Again, I, at the best, the ones, which is what I am, number one. And then there's two again. And then there's, I think it was 8, I need to remember. But wise, that depends. You might think so, you might not. Discerning, definitely yes. Even when people think I'm not, it's because I'm compassionate, which means I know how to navigate my prefrontal cortex, which is very much why I love Dr. Daniel Siegel, as he says and explains what forgiveness is, which is why I'm a functional child adult, not an inner adult, a functional inner child adult. I don't need Patrick Tehan for Maria, because Maria has her own safe haven, secure base. So I will always be appropriate, noble, because my mother taught me if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. And if they look at you like this, you come to me. I don't need to go to her anymore. I know exactly what to do when I'm in the presence of that which is not brilliance. And thanks to all the attachment trauma educators, I know that I'm very proud to be able to stand in front of somebody who's yelling at me because they're having a reaction that is not due to their fault. No, they got really shitty first 3 years of life. And anyone who wants to tell me to treat them like a little piece of shit, I'm not a big anything. I'm a 4'9" woman, but I can stare them down with my ventral vagal state as I consistently repeat myself and say, I unconditionally love people. And actually, I know exactly, I'm keeping it to myself. This is a very special occasion that I got to give someone, because the only way a person might be able to notice something about themselves is if they get to experience being treated like a human being. The rest, though, if they don't choose to go and take accountability and regulate and get out of their 0 8-year-old that had that trauma stuff, that's where I can't do anything. So I'm an opportunity, they're an opportunity. That's why God chimes in to say, don't judge your brothers and sisters who are living in human suffering, and Buddha makes fun of me. And I say, haha, Buddha, yeah, you keep making fun of me, I'm going to make fun of you too. So inspiring, I'm going to say yes, I inspire human potential. Look, right here. So ventral vagal state, it's fun. You don't say, I don't want the resilience area. You say, wow, gentle, yes, God is loving, equanimous, and discerning. Thanks, God. So it's gentle, not any of soldier questions. Affectionate, yes, I love hugs. And calm, caring toward all humanity, yes, even when people think that I don't actually believe in you, I believe in all of you, to be able to become functional child adults. And when I don't meet them, I know how to do. No, we won't become friends. Yes, we do frequent the same place. No, we will not be chit-chatting. Yes, I will be seeing you. No, I'm not putting up barriers. And yes, I'm telling you how it is because my body speaks for me and I'm not a liar. So I am imperfect and I'm flawed, but at least I'm not a liar. At least I do know how to uphold vows and integrity till death do part, sickness and health, richer and poor. Polyamory knows way better. No, polysecure can tell you all about monoamory, teenage boyfriend, 1 cheating, 2 cheating, 3 cheating. By the 4th time, he didn't even admit it. And so, again, it makes me laugh. There's one of the traits that I need to read to you all, and then we're going to move on to other. So again, logical and genuine, check. Empathic, nurturing, check. I'm going to say successful, admirable, check for myself for sure. And God will judge me and tell me shit when I'm dead, and I'm not dead yet, and that's it. Anybody in flesh doesn't matter. I mean, they matter because I will listen to you. Because I'm a mindfulness practitioner and my mother taught me manners. And also I do want to hear what you have to say. Doesn't mean that I'm going to change my mind, but I'm being respectful. It's called I have self-confidence and acceptance, and I'm flawed and imperfect, so I do have an open heart, which is what has anybody who has still parts of themselves that they didn't accept come up. That's why you can't delete trauma. It doesn't get deleted. You take ownership of it. My 3-year-old, she still comes up. Then you say you're sorry, and then you keep on working with your nervous system, which I do. My twin knows all about it. So does my mom. My younger sister, she gets pampered. So there's that. I am authentic and intuitive, spot on, but I keep my mouth shut because those who are not securely attached and stay with their child parts and live out relationships that are horrid, I tell them, look, I learned from attachment trauma educators, you're describing something, how can I can't do anything else. So am I perceptive and observant? Yes, but I've also learned how I don't want to share it with everybody. I am dependable and trustworthy because I won't turn my back on you. I do like Pacha does. And that's because Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit, they taught me not to cast a stone, that all my brothers and sisters, to believe without seeing. In fact, even before science proved that every one of you can be kind inside, I knew it because of Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity. And so when I learned to turn the other cheek, it was not I'm going to put up with your shit. No, my facade friend taught me how to turn the other cheek without yelling in the face of people. And the attachment trauma educators taught me that those who project their past will continue to do so. Because they won't say, we're sorry, they won't then do something about it. And I'm optimistic, though, and energetic, because I know some people, Robert Sapolsky, they've been determined like they're going to move into their flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain because they have a prefrontal cortex, because they have a whole self, because they take themselves seriously. So securely attached, self-led people take themselves seriously, and there's earned secure attachment for the ones who need to get that. Which is why I love you, Patrick Tan. I'm going to try and send everybody to you that can come. But you know, the cowards, they're not honest or tenacious. I am being honest. They don't like honesty, like authenticity. But we don't follow fake people. In fact, we spot them like a hawk. And when we see voices who say people like fake people, we're like, no. That's not it. We're gentle and friendly. I'm going to do enough to be saluted. Doesn't think I'm gentle and friendly. And healthy self-worth people, like Dr. Daniel Fox points out, don't do characterological distinctions. That's exactly why we're actually healthy self-worth, because it's only the codependent people who say, I'm a healer, how dare you trauma dump? Wow, you're not a healer, but you trauma dumping, that's not a really great way to use yourself. But then again, you don't want therapy, do you? You think you're healed because you're a healer. It's okay to make mistakes. Yes, I know that. It is okay to have my own needs met. Yep, it is okay to have my own feelings and identity. All of it right here. She's a 3-year-old. We'll get some other storytelling in a minute. It's not okay. No, it is okay to be functional and happy too. You know what's funny when people say, you can't be happy all the time? Well, actually, ventral energy makes you look happy all the time. It is okay to be comfortable in the world. And please don't hit us, asteroid. Please, earthquake, don't make me be Pompeii this time. Okay, please, thank you. God told me I'm physically safe. So if I look like a statue at one point, it's okay. I won't know, which is why people say, why are you afraid of death? I say, not afraid. I'm afraid, meaning I don't want to die sooner than later. I like living. Hello, pure consciousness embodied. Why would I not want to be here? Also, it's a sin to kill yourself. But I'm pro-choice because it's your body, not mine. It's your mind, not mine. And that's because I don't cast stones. I'm in flesh. God's the one who chooses to decide. Nobody in flesh. So anytime I got fear-mongering grown-ups who look at me and they think that I actually need to believe, I'm like, you obviously don't know what you're doing right now. You think you're brilliant. I'm spotting your left brain. It's called cognitive dissonance. Structural dissociation. It is okay to trust myself because I know myself. I got a good gut, Gabor Mate. It is okay to depend on anyone and anything. Yes, and then you spot their facades. And like my facade friend, you just know that people with rejection, abandonment, injustice, shame, blame, fault, and revenge, and all those wounds, they're a pattern wheelhouse, and that's all they do. So they are going to depend on their trauma wheel and their imagination. They are actively using the dark sides of neuroplasticity. So it is okay to assert yourself in silence, which is why when you are a person who is expanding, you know that you are good and bad all at once. You are wanted and not wanted all at once. You are loved and not loved for being yourself. You are seen and not seen for who you are. Depends who you meet. You are definitely going to know that your needs are a problem for those who tell you that you're too much, but that your needs are not a problem for the ones who are actual men, women, and theys. Like authentic, transparent, securely attached, self-led people. Just making sure we have the right ones here means that we have a sense of humor. And again, we don't do any of Cusco's behavior. We are safe, yes, and we're not safe. Asteroid, don't hit us, please. Laws will take care of us. So yes, we'll be taken care of by our own mental, emotional, physical mastery. And don't worry, money comes to everyone. Remember, we all manifest it. And you will be betrayed, but you will also meet the ones who don't betray, because you'll meet the ones who have that which is called integrity, which are other securely attached, healthy, self-worth human beings who are like a Terry Real or Patrick Tihan or Dr. Daniel Siegel or Bezel Vanderkolk, Dr. Daniel Fox, Janina Fisher, Pat Ogden, you know, the emotionally available somatic empaths, mystics, and that your presence doesn't matter, but it can matter. So, you know, at the end of the day, really, what is it to be an expert yogi? Right here, Sadhguru, I love it when you scared. No, I didn't. So he scares this lovely lady, not on purpose. It's that he's explaining to her, darkness is all that will remain. Because that's actually it, dark matter, dark energy. And Existential Physics, her lovely book. I haven't read it yet, Sabine, but she wrote at the beginning, this book made some people very, very uncomfortable, so please be advised. And I'm like, who? Who are you talking to? I'm not afraid. I already know God. So let me let you know, again, it's in here where you're like, yeah, I can sit in darkness. No, I don't want to sit in darkness, but I can sit in the darkness of my own brain because I love to think and I love to feel and I love to be Maria. So again, you're only going to be here if you can navigate sensations, images, behaviors, affects, meanings with ownership, which means focusing attention, and then it's not scary, and your personality patterns, they expand, and your nervous system is one, and you are securely attached, self-led. Here you go. Thanks, Dr. Daniel Siegel, and kind intention always, not just sometimes. So I don't speak words, I forgive. My facade friend taught me how not to do any of that, which is let me share with you when I meet the fake you, because assholes are assholes like I'm an asshole. I'm not decent enough to be saluted, and we'll talk some more about that in our next episode. It might be a bit shorter, but we are going to talk about why and or how and or in different ways the emotionally immature person, not dependable, not trustworthy, they lack open heart. And again, it's not a competition. There are those who will say, yes, I want to be myself, and they want an open heart. And then there are those who will not go to reclaim their faith in humanity, which means their faith in themselves, because they don't want to go to Patrick Tan or Terry Real to learn to be their emotional body. with all their child parts. I have all my child parts. She's right here. I'm the voice of unconditional love with flaws and imperfections, and above all, integrity, which you don't prove it, which is why I don't have to make it a statement, because Emmanuel is enough to be saluted thinks he taught me good manners. When I looked at him the next time around, because he was with a friend of mine, and I just thought, if he did that, am I not decent enough to be saluted? He's been harboring this shit since way back when. That's just, I mean, I have to do, what's my negotiation? I acknowledge, at least acknowledge me. So Janina Fisher says it's not passive aggressive because she's a therapist. And I'm going to say it's not passive aggressive to me either, but I'm not his therapist. And he doesn't go to therapy. And nobody knows his wife. And yet he's established as a poet and he dresses up and he thinks he's cultured. And he's not the only facade that actually believes, alongside the other vanity metric people who like fake people and they love each other. And 3D 4D is going to keep hanging out. I'm going to keep spotting him. And that's why, again, Buddha makes fun of me and I don't make fun of Buddha. I just make fun of this life, this very existence, this suffering. No, sorry. Jesus died for my sins. I'm respecting the man who I said, yes, I love you, Jesus, Holy Spirit, God. And no, not the ones who don't believe in decentralizing to the self, because that's not about belief. My charitable beliefs, God, I love you, could be falsifiable. That's called science, neuroscience. So when someone says, ha ha ha, everyone has something to believe in, and I'm giving you data, no, that's not brilliance, but it's adaptive child part. Just like, you're confusing science, spirituality. Again, that's not brilliance, but they think they're brilliant because, you know, Cusco. He thinks he knows everything. At a certain point, what does he do? He erases Pacha. I mean, me, I'm right. Then he cries himself a river. Then he gives up on himself. So in this entire scene, there's not one moment where he takes ownership. Not even at the end does Cusco take ownership. No, he does the This is why my facade friend taught me what to do with clowns. This is not something that I think, wow. No, it's an emotionally immature and an emotionally unavailable and a bullshit 0-8-year-old. As if you are open-hearted and vulnerable, you know what you can do? We're going to do that in our next episode. So tune in if you want. And if not, thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. It'll help the channel grow. And again, be yourself. And remember, those who don't want to, they're going to perform for love. And then, and you're going to be like, okay, then. You know, there's someone called Terry Real for both of you and all of you. And that way, anyone, by the way, love you, Terry Real. Love you, Patrick Tan. Everyone. I love everyone, though. Remember, that means to some people that I don't love anyone. What? I mean, God. Okay, we'll be back with more in a little bit.